Hello. How y'all doing? Good to hear. I'm working on a 9-inch fiber optic dagger blade. This is green fiber optic glass. No, this ain't for an arrow. It's gonna be a dagger. Way too big for an arrow. It could also be a spearhead. You have a bow? Do you have a bow? I have several bows. How many have you made? About 1,500. I'm not making a machete. It'll be similar to this, just bigger. Why do you stone the edge? To abrade it? You have any obsidian knives? Right here. That's snowflake obsidian. Sorry, it's got dust on it. It's a sharp one too. That handle is eastern red cedar. Oh, it is. It's very sharp. Well, I'm not wearing safety glasses. What if I told you I wasn't wearing shoes either? Are you looking to purchase obsidian? No, no thank you. I've got plenty of material right now. Why is the super... What? Why is the super killing me? I don't understand what that means. I've seen too many eye injuries. Okay. Well, I've been doing this for 5 years, and I've made about 1,500 of these, and I've never had a piece of glass go up. Green fiber optic glass. Do you sell them? Yes, I do. Arrowsniperarchery.com. I actually sold a bunch of stuff. I have these two right here available right now. And then, of course, in a few days, I'll have this one finished. It'll be a big dagger when I'm done. I'm always making new stuff. But you can go to arrowsniperarchery.com. You can find my website through Google as well. Do they stay sharp forever? If you never cut anything with them. But yeah, they'll go dull if you cut enough stuff with them. But you can resharpen them. Thank you. Please share your work. So this is cobalt blue glass, and Osage orange. I make the handles as well. And then I've got this snowflake obsidian and eastern red cedar. They take me about 2 days to make. No, you don't have to have a special tool. I mean, I have a specialized tool, but you could use deer antler or a little flathead screwdriver. You know, I made... Crap. A horseshoe nail is the best. So, I bought these brass fittings at the hardware store, and I made a horseshoe nail holder. I do all my detail work with this tool, but I also sharpen my blades with this tool. But it's a very simple design. It's just brass, and I put a pencil in here. I'll show you why. Your horseshoe nail goes into this brass nipple, okay? And then when you thread it on here, that pencil pushes up on the horseshoe nail and snugs it in place. And then I've got a detail horseshoe nail flaker. Oh, thank you so much. I really enjoy making the handles. The handles have become almost just as fun to me as flint napping. I just really enjoy the entire process. That's why I never really get tired of making them, because I enjoy it. How do the snowflakes appear in the stone? So that's just a name. The snowflakes are actually crystals. So let me show you closer. It's just it's crystallization in the glass, in the obsidian. But that is volcanic glass, and this one is cobalt blue glass. Right, I know. I was just saying, what they call snowflakes is actually crystals. Go to arrowsniperarchery.com and you can buy them. I have these two right here for sale. I've also got a really pretty left-handed recurve for sale. If you know anybody that's left-handed and likes archery, I've got an incredibly beautiful bow that I refinished. We'll take care of that momentarily. What's the metal tip? So this is copper. Copper works really well because it's a soft metal. And what you want is a soft metal in order to grip that abraded edge. You don't want to use a hard, like a nail, because then you'll just crush the glass and you won't produce a very big conchoidal fracture, like you're seeing right here. So that you want that soft copper or deer antler has the same effect. Copper just happens to be better than deer antler. But deer antler works perfectly fine. That's what the Native Americans used. That's what I learned with was deer antler. You are very patient. Thank you. Is this process called napping or something like that? So this would be, you could call this flint napping or glass napping. What I'm actually doing right now is called pressure flaking. This is a pressure flaking tool. And I'll essentially do this whole process with this preform by pressure flaking. But I have different ways I flint knap for different materials. Yeah, I make obsidian blades all the time. And right here is an obsidian blade. I do sell them at arrowsniperarchery.com. Just go Google search Arrow Sniper Archery and it'll pop up. So I've got this one on sale. It's barely over $100. And then the snowflake obsidian, I'm not real sure when I'll get another piece of that. I know I believe I have one more smaller piece like the snowflake obsidian, but I really don't know when I'll get it again. Some of these things come and go, material-wise. Like, for instance, I used to be able to get red glass whenever I wanted it. Now I can't find it anywhere. A piece of paper is not a good testing medium for a flint knapped blade because it cuts with serrations. So the Native Americans would have been cutting animal hide like leather or softer materials. I have cut cardboard with it very successfully. What about some blue jeans? Is that a good enough test? Here, we will cut this old pair of jeans. I did some cut tests with this same blade yesterday. Yeah. So yeah, denim jeans. I mean, we call them denim jeans too, but most of the time we call them blue jeans. But yeah, they cut. And you can see that cutting edge is actually little serrated teeth. I need to probably touch this blade up because I've done several tests with it. We'll go ahead and do that actually. Hey, thank you very much, Nick. We'll go ahead and touch this blade up. Make sure she's nice and sharp for whoever buys it. So in order to resharpen an obsidian or any flint knap blade, you're simply going to remove very tiny flakes. And all you're doing is creating new serrations. Nothing more. And it's these serrations that makes up your cutting edge. Very fine little teeth. And they really do work very similarly to a shark's tooth. So, there's my new cutting edge on this side. And a few weeks ago, I skinned a deer with an obsidian blade. You'd be amazed how well it works. Just depends on what you, no, not after each use. It really depends on what you'd be cutting with it. Bet you don't walk barefoot in your house. Do you have eyeballs? The gigantic tote right there in front of your eyes. Yeah, this is obsidian. Actually, someone said something about that yesterday, and they said, I bet you wouldn't sit there barefoot or something. So I took my shoes off and sat here barefoot. That was on TikTok. So yeah, it's got a new sharp cutting edge. Yeah, this is snowflake obsidian. Hey, thank you so much. Alright, let's get back to work on the green fiber optic. I do sell my knives. You can go Google search Arrow Sniper Archery, or you can just go to arrowsniperarchery.com. I've got a few things for sale, but I just sold a bunch of stuff, so I apologize. A lot of things are sold out. I'm glad. Well, I'm really happy you're enjoying it. I enjoy going live. I enjoy sharing my knowledge. Yes, the tip of this tool is copper. Right, so this is a 9-inch blade. This is a pretty big blade. And I want to make it a little bit thinner. So I'm going to abrade these little platforms sticking off the side here. These are called deltas. Well, deltas connect to ridges in the glass. You can see this little ridge line right here. Well, in flint napping, conchoidal fractures like to follow ridges. So I'll abrade these, and I'll take my next set of flakes or conchoidal fractures along these ridges in order to thin the blade down some more. So I'm just going to angle my grinding stone and abrade these deltas. We also need to address that. Hick. I'm proud of that. I'm really proud of being a hick, actually. You're more than welcome to come to my neck of the woods and call somebody a hick. Wouldn't advise it, but you're more than welcome to. You ever noticed in this world that people, if there is no reason to hate you, they'll find a reason, even if there's no reason. Like a random person randomly called me a hick. For what? Exactly. Flint napping. Every culture flint napped at one point in time. Every single culture. Even the Vikings flint napped. Fuck yeah, I'm proud of being a hick. I'd like to think I'm pretty successful for a small town hick. So this is fiber optic green glass, and I am making a dagger blade. Is it stronger than glass? No, it's just ordinary glass. Obsidian is ordinary glass. Volcanic glass and man-made glass are both 70% silica. That's why I'm able to flint knap this, because you can only flint knap material that is high in silica. You're using conchoidal fractures, which is the way that high silica materials break. So you can't flint knap just any stone, but there is a lot of materials that you can flint knap. For instance, porcelain. I do have a website. It's arrowsniperarchery.com. They expensive? I don't like to think they're expensive, not considering the amount of time and the money that goes into the material, the fact that they're handmade. I like to think they're very reasonable. What if you let it drop? Then it would break because it's made out of glass. So this size here will probably be $185. I also make a sheath, a leather sheath, and a display stand for them. And that would include shipping in the US. Will it cut though? Well, I skinned a deer with one the other day. It skinned a deer really well. Oh, you know, I've tried to sell them for more, but they don't sell. You wouldn't believe how many people don't appreciate things that are handmade. So it leaves me not a whole lot of other choice but to sell them cheaper. I wish I could sell them for more, and what I believe that they are worth, but then no one buys them. Like, for instance, I've got I've got this down to like $105. You know, this should be selling for probably $235, and I've got this for $105, and yet no one has bought it. So, what if I'm Native American? I live in... Should be $258. Do you ship to Canada? I do ship to Canada. Try giving it away, it's shit. How about I give your mom's phone number away so everybody can plow her? Like me and my homies did. You little fuck. Nice try. I can't help it, you're crying. Everyone else thought it was funny. You notice they actually paid attention when I spoke? How can people buy your stuff? Arrowsniperarchery.com. Thank you. See, there's proof right there. It's not hard to be nice. It's probably one of my stalkers from TikTok. They're probably like, oh, he said he's gonna go live on YouTube. I'm gonna go over there and talk shit. Do you make statues too? No. No, I don't make statues. I'm native who was born in Canada, and I originate from... Hold on. Originate from... Hey, that's really cool. It's crazy how much someone could sell a hoodie that they bought for $15 and add their little logo. Oh, I know. It's freaking crazy, ain't it? But I gotta like try every tactic in the book to get my website out to people. I post these things everywhere, and I have a hard time selling them sometimes. But yeah, people will buy a hoodie for however much someone's selling them for with a logo on it. You're right. But then I sit here and make these blades chip by chip, you know, flake by flake, that take me 2 days to make. I guarantee you, anyone that talks shit about my prices, which are ridiculously low, if I let them try to make one of these blades, they would quickly be like, yeah, that's worth a lot more than what you're asking for it. It's shit. Is that why I've made a living from it for 4 years? You dumbass. Do you make 45 grand a year making something that you enjoy making besides shit talking? I know you're not getting paid for shit talking because you suck at it. Right. He literally has no life. I'm not even trying to brag. I'm just proving a point here. He's saying that this stuff's shit, but I've sold over 1,500 of them all around the universe. And he says that they're shit. If they was shit, people wouldn't be buying them. I wouldn't have just sold 4 of them. It is hard to do. It took me about two years to get to where I was making decent blades. He ain't gonna get a rise out of me. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It doesn't fluster me at all. You're not gonna raise my blood pressure. I'll just have your mom give me a back rub. And like I said earlier, I'll give out her phone number to everybody. Because you know I got her digits. They see me napping. They hating. Purple glass is hard to find. Purple glass is sort of rare. I can get purple fiber optic glass sometimes. Hey, I've been dealing with people like this for years now. Trust me. Getting any kind of hate's nothing new. But I'm going to take my attention off of that and answer your guys' questions. That blade would look cool with an LED inside of it. Yes, it would. As a matter of fact, one of my customers has over 50 of my knives, and he built a display case and he put LED lights behind the blades, and it looks wicked. Like, it really looks wicked. Because this shit, when you put light behind it, it illuminates. Like, it really lights up. Let me see if I can get... Check that out. And I mean, it looks even better in the actual sunlight. Dun, dun, dun. It is, they're sweet. Really like, actually, I'll tell you what, hold on a second, and I'll show you what it looks like in the sunlight. Hang on just a second. Don't mind my workshop, it's kind of dirty. That's in the sunlight. Even the blue is really cool too. So are you Val? What? Let me turn this fan down just a hair. There we go. It is actually really damn nice outside today. What do you mean, Val? My name's Josh, not Val. I'm surprised it hasn't sold either. But somebody will get it. The right person will buy it and appreciate it. Yeah, it's neat that you can see every single, like, flake that I took off of it. You can see my work in the glass. Very talented craftsman, Val. I'll be honest, I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure who that is. Oh, okay. I was thinking in my head, are we talking about Val Kilmer? Like, what Val? I guess you can call me Val. You want to. This is fiber optic green glass. Thank you. I sure am glad you guys enjoy it. What is fiber optic glass? I can't tell you, like, specifically in detail what it is. It's just what it's named. I buy it. When I buy it, I buy fiber optic glass. That's all I know. And it has a very certain look to it. I'm sure you could easily look up exactly what it is. But I do know I've sold a bunch of it. There's different colors of it. I'm not even sure what it's like originally for. It's just a material name that I buy for flint napping. Can you show the knives in the background? Sure. Absolutely. So these are a couple of my knives. More of a, I guess, modern shape of a knife. I make a lot of my handles, I make them out of Osage because that's what I make my self bows out of. And I've got a lot of this wood. But I've had this one. This one's been on sale for a while. Yeah, and I make these handles. Yeah, the grip actually feels really good too. I left the finger grooves matte, and then gloss up here. And then this one is snowflake obsidian. This is more of my dagger shape, and that's eastern red cedar wood. You can find them at arrowsniperarchery.com. Thank you. Yes, it is 125. Do you ship worldwide? Yes, I do. Cut something with it. Okay. Dun dun dun. Let's actually, we'll cut a piece of I've got a piece of leather we can cut. I don't want to cut with these too much, the ones that I'm selling. Here's the obsidian, and I'm not applying any pressure to that whatsoever. I may need to rework the edge on that blue one because I've tested these on stuff so many times for people. So they're sharp. They're very sharp. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously you could, use that just like any other primitive tool. You could skin a deer with it, take it hunting. I have skinned deer with them, but these are more of my artwork. So, yeah, most people that buy my stuff display it as an art piece, but they will totally do the job. They have the same exact cutting edge as any other flint napped blade. How would a customer sharpen them without sending them back to you? It's not real hard to learn how to resharpen them, honestly. There's actually a few YouTube videos on it. And I could give you a brief rundown of how to do it on this live, if you would like. Yeah, I mean, like for instance, there's one guy that's bought over 50 of these off of me, and he has built some super nice display cases, and he displays all of them. And he said he's going to hand them down to his grandchildren. Bullshit, I got pictures of it. Go look on my Facebook. I know his mom's a sucky person. Sucky person. I've had several people that collect steel knives buy one of my pieces for their collection. Just because you think about it, before steel knives, there was glass and flint knives. These are the OG original knives, even before steel. What got you into this? Well, originally, my uncle inspired a lot of the things I do. He did a little bit of flint napping. But also, I make self bows, primitive bows, and I wanted to be able to make my own arrowheads for hunting. So it's kind of a mixture of things. Just something I always wanted to learn. Here, I'll show you one of my bows. Actually, I'm working on it. So, I'm putting a new grip on it right now. This is rawhide from a deer I killed. And I skinned it out, made me some rawhide, and that's the bow grip I'm working on. But this is my self bow. This is Osage Orange. Buffalo horn inlays, bull snake skin, beaver tail. This is, like I said, deer rawhide, but that's my hunting bow. Yep. And then I think you'll really like my arrow quiver that goes on that bow. I made it as well. So I made this out of deer rawhide from a deer I shot. And here's one of my arrows with one of my arrowheads on it. Where did I find the wood for that bow? I went and I cut it down. And I had to dry it for about a year. So where I live, there is Osage everywhere. But yep, that hood is rawhide from the last deer I killed. And then I made that quiver to go on my self bow, which it attaches like this. And you've got this gap here so your hand can fit through there. And that's my primitive bow setup. But I made all that stuff. These arrows are river cane. That's a type of bamboo. And then wild turkey feathers. I just hand cut mine. And then they're wrapped with sinew. I don't really sell just material. Yeah, I put foam in there. I have full intentions to kill a deer with this setup. Yeah, if you guys ever want a self bow, you can email me through my website, and I'll take a commission on making one. I don't make a lot of them, so it might not always be yes as an answer, but I do make them here and there. I just don't make a lot of them. What that deer do to you? Filled my freezer. It filled my freezer with healthy meat. That's what it did to me. You want to see its leg tendons? Hold on. So, I'll teach you a little something. The Native Americans used what is called sinew to wrap arrowheads on, do repairs on a bow, or to add strength to the back of a bow. But sinew is the rear leg tendon of a white-tailed deer, or any kind of deer. You can also get backstrap sinew, and it works pretty good too. But what happens is these strands, this tendon, you break it up and you process it, and it turns into a bunch of little strings. Well, you wet this string, and when you wrap your arrowhead on, it stretches, and then as the sinew dries, it shrinks. So it's almost like a primitive shrink wrap. And the tensile strength of this shit's insane. This stuff is incredibly strong. The Native Americans were incredibly smart. Incredibly smart. Because I mean, I've used this stuff and hunted with it for several years now. And I'm telling you, it's no wonder that they survived, and they survived well. But yeah, that's deer leg sinew. And you can also haft knives and spears. And hafting just means to attach a blade to a handle. That's all that means. So like this arrowhead, I hafted it to the arrow shaft. And then I wrapped it with sinew. And the sinew also strengthens the bamboo. I put sinew up here towards this nock so that the pressure from the string doesn't split my arrow. So it also reinforces my nock. And then I wrap my fletching with sinew. So it's got a lot of uses. And I try to use as much from a deer that I kill as possible. Like, right here this is a deer I killed not even a month ago. This is its skin. This is called rawhide. And you can do a lot of cool shit with rawhide. You can back bows with it. Just like sinew, you can do a lot. But right there is where I shot the deer with a muzzle loader. That's the hole from my muzzle loader. But this shit, it really is. It's like Kydex. You can wet it. You can put it over anything, and it will mold and dry in that shape. You can hear how hard this is. Like, it's very, very hard material. But when you wet it, it becomes very pliable and stretchy. So, like my bow handle, I wetted it, formed it to the grip, and then used clamps. And you can see that this is now getting dry. And I'm going to have a perfect rawhide grip on there. And then I'll just sew it up. But there's so much more you can do with a deer than just eat it. Yeah, it's very, very easy to harvest or to get the sinew from a deer. What I do is I'll take a very sharp knife, obviously, and start at about the back of the knee, and cut the tendon at the top and the bottom, and then make one slice down the back of the leg all the way down to the hoof. Open the skin up, and you may have to cut around a little bit to get the tendon loose. Pull the tendon out and then just let it dry. You don't have to do anything else. I mean, you could wash it off, but just let it dry. And once it's dry, then you can use it. Sinew. It is the rear leg tendon of a deer. But even humans have it. Like, everything has sinew on it. You can get sinew from a squirrel. You might not get very much, but white-tailed deer happen to have really good sinew. No, sinew, like S-I-N-E-W is how you spell sinew. But anyways, you was close. You tried. We'll get back to flint napping. Do I remember you? Can't say that I do. I can't say that I do, Captain. But I could go on and on and on and on and on all day about the stuff I've learned. Just literally been my life for several years now. It's funny you say that. I got this bin because somebody asked me if they could have the flakes from my flint napping. So I'm going to collect some of these up and probably give them away to somebody, or maybe if they have a glass kiln, they can melt it down and make me a couple of slabs or something. Is that more of that fiber optic glass? Yes, it is. I want one, but with red or orange glass. Oh my gosh, you picked the two. You picked the two, like, kind of hard to get colors. Now, I do have a red piece of glass that I've got to finish up. But I do have a red piece right here. Now, orange, believe it or not, I've only been able to get 2 pieces of orange glass in a 6-year span. And they are dope as hell. I love orange glass, but it's very hard to find it. Did you sell the knife? I don't see it on your table. Yeah, these are the only 2 I've got left. Right here. I sold everything else. I've got these 2 right here, guys. So if you want to pick one up, now would be a good time. But I'll have some more made here in a few days, probably. But this is what I've got left right now. But yeah, I do have this red blade here. And I'm not sure, I've been trying this new light over top here. But I don't know if I like that yellow. There we go. I think that looks better. Yeah, the milk glass one did sell. I really enjoy the milk glass. Yeah, I actually had 2 pieces of that red glass, and I sold one of them. But I got some obsidian today, too. So here's some obsidian. I'll be making these very soon. Hey, thank you, James. Finally, something that makes sense and has a point. Well, OnlyFans don't make sense or have a point? I see big flakes in the bin. Looks like a copper bopper made. Yeah, definitely. My big, for my big glass cullet, look at that flake. Talk about something that's sharp. That sucker right there is nasty. Nasty sharp. I think you would like my copper bopper. I made a new one out of Osage. Oh! And check out this Ishi stick. Now, I can't take full credit for this, because November South made one of these. But I had a self bow that blew up. It broke, and I repurposed the broken limb and made it into an Ishi stick with a set screw. How freaking cool is that? I made a napping tool out of an old bow limb. And then, check this out. Osage Orange Copper Bopper. Look how pretty. Man, that thing, it's a good one. It's a good one. Yep, I filled it with lead. Actually, I used an old tin of pellets and filled it up with lead. It's heavy as shit. Between the lead and the Osage wood, I don't know. I bet that weighs probably 3 pounds. Maybe more. Actually, I ought to weigh it. My scale out. Not quite that much. It's 1.5 pounds. I was way off. It just feels really heavy. Still, that's still pretty heavy. Is Osage harder than oak? Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Osage is some tough, tough shit. I don't know if I posted the video on YouTube, but I took one of my Osage self bows It didn't have any backing on it. And I drew it back over 30 inches, I believe. And it was only like maybe a 46-inch long bow. It's crazy. I've used ePay before. I'm not even sure how I would get ivory. I thought nothing was harder than... Oh. Oh my gosh. Here we go with the 6-7 stuff. You all in these lives with the 6-7 stuff. I get enough of that from my kid. Thank you very much. 6-7. 6-7. What the hell does that even mean? When I was a kid, like, we had really cool cartoons and shit that we watched that made sense. Like Rocko's Modern Life and Rugrats and Ren and Stimpy. I don't necessarily know that Ren and Stimpy made sense, but they never just come up with a random number. Like 6-7. So glad I was a 90s kid. The shit was the best. The 90s was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome time to be a kid. Yeah, I'm not even gonna look it up. Seems very silly. I just always say that 8-9 is better than 6-7. Yeah, the 90s. I mean, think about the 90s. We had the Chicago Bulls. We had the coolest cartoons. You actually, if you wanted to order something, you had to order it out of a catalog or off of fucking TV, a 1-800 number. We had payphones. We had house phones. There was only one kid in my neighborhood that had a computer, and he was rich. Game systems were better. I don't know, man. Like, everything seems like it was better then. Everyone played outside. If you wanted to run your mouth and be a troll, then you had to do it pretty much in person. And then you just get your ass kicked for running your mouth. But now, you can just go home, sit in the comforts of your room, climate-controlled room, and just run your mouth to everybody with no repercussions. It's true, man. It's so true. Like, if you wanted to be a troll in the 90s, you pretty much had to you had to do it in person. Hey, man, long as you're enjoying it. Right, it was very limited trolls. Very limited. And people got along better. People got along better when there wasn't as much social media. And you know, we was more social. You remember the big long cords on the house phone? Like your mom would have a phone in a kitchen with a cord that went all the way to the living room. Um, I would be called a flint napper. And I don't mean the kind of nap where you sleep. It's napper. Knapper. Flint napper. Napoleon Dynamite type phone, exactly. Maybe that's why I like that movie. Because if you think about it, Napoleon Dynamite was not made back in the 90s, but the movie is very, like, it looks very 80s, 90s era. It kind of reminds you of that time. Yeah, it's a really cool movie, and it's really crazy that they, like, they almost wasn't able to make that movie because of money. They ran out of money, and the movie ended up making, like, I forget how much. A lot. The blue knife looks cool. Thank you. The blue knife's for sale if you want to buy it. Yeah, they barely made that movie. I like when Kip, or no, Napoleon. Napoleon did. He put on the time machine, and it basically just electrocuted him. Oh, it's a classic. Right, you wouldn't think that. That and that is something you would find on eBay. A fucking time machine that electrocutes you. Go to arrowsniperarchery.com if you're interested in one of these. 125 shipped. I am from India. I haven't shipped to India per se, but I've shipped a lot of other places. I do have international shipping. You ship to the UK. Yes, I do. So it would be an additional $40. Would cover $40 US. I just shipped a hatchet and a knife to the UK not very long ago. Show the edges of the blue one. Yep, this cobalt blue glass is it's pretty stunning. I love how you can see my work in the glass. And then I've also got this one. This is obsidian, snowflake obsidian, with a purple heartwood handle. Not purple heartwood, eastern red cedar. Yeah, yep. I was napping that blade right there. Well, shit, guys. What time is it? Damn, man. Is it just me or is time... Does time seem like it is freaking flying? I'm serious. It's almost tripping me out, but it seems like time is sped up. Or is it just me? I've seen people make videos about that, about time be like ever since COVID, it seems like time has sped up. It sure does seem that way. I'm gonna have to get off here and eat some dinner. All this napping is making me hungry. See, guys, I make your cutting edge one flake at a time. Look at that. Let's see if she cuts. Let's see if she cuts, and then I'm gonna go eat dinner. Huh. Let's pretend it's a sunny day. And I wanted to turn these old pair of jeans into a pair of shorts. Let's see what would happen. Well, I don't think I'd have a problem making a pair of shorts with one of my knives. Make myself some Daisy Dukes. It won't shave hair because it's a serrated edge. It's not a slick, stone-honed edge like a steel knife. So it's better at cutting softer materials like animal hides. Oh, I have. Yes, I have. Broke them in the process of making them. And when I first started doing this, I broke a lot of them. And you got to break a lot of them to get good at making them. If you ain't breaking them, you ain't making them. It's making you sleepy. That makes sense. Awesome skill to have. It is very fun. Here's one of my hunting points. For an arrow. As you can see, it's got those same razor sharp teeth. That's a deer killer. Hey, what's up, Ireland? Thank you so much. This would be a good color for you. I am actually, it's crazy, but I am 40% Scottish. And I'm 10% Irish. Actually, I have a very, very, very Irish last name. My last name is O'Dell. O''Dell. Would love to see that arrowhead on an arrow. I could show you one of my arrows. Hell, you want to see my whole bow hunting setup? I make my own bows. Right. Right. Actually, my aunt used to go and visit her family in Ireland every year. And I was pretty jealous of that. I would love, love, love to see Ireland. So here is my quiver that I made. This hood is from rawhide from a deer that I killed. And then my bamboo shafts are river cane, which is bamboo. And here is one of my flint points hafted to that river cane arrow shaft. And then wild turkey feathers wrapped with sinew. I'll show you my bow. I don't have my quiver on my bow right now because I'm putting a new grip on it. This is my self bow. This is Osage orange. If you don't know much about self bows, it is a bow made out of a singular piece of wood, and it is a primitive style bow. I did put a bull snake skin on the back. That's a real snake skin. And my limb tip overlays are water buffalo horn. And then again, this is rawhide from a deer that I killed and tanned its hide. Well, I didn't get in fully into the tanning process. I just made rawhide, but I've got to trim all that up. But that's my hunting bow. It's 50 pounds, and the quiver goes on it like this right here. And I really, really like the way that rawhide looks on there. But that just, I got some leather straps that wraps on there, and that's my bow. And it actually goes on the other side. Sorry. It goes like that. I made this quiver out of Osage too. But anyways, I better get off here. Do you do anything with all the chips? So I am collecting them in this container because I had a few people ask if they could have them. So I'm gonna collect some up and then probably give them to the people that want them. I'm wondering if there's certain materials that would cause a faster bleed out. Not necessarily material. Obsidian and flint both are going to do pretty much the same thing. What causes a quick bleed out is these serrations. So if you think about a modern broadhead has a very slick, very sharp, singular cutting edge. And this has more of a jagged, toothy edge. So whenever this goes into the animal with all the momentum behind the arrow, whenever these little teeth hit a blood vessel or an artery, it's actually going to explode that artery or blood vessel. Now, a still point, here's something to think about real quick. A still point can roll when it hits a bone. So a still broadhead can go in, and the tip of it can actually roll and then slow down penetration. If this arrowhead went into a deer and hit a rib, it most likely would break the very tip off, and what you would be left with under that tip would be a new razor sharp chisel tip, and it would continue its path. So if you make arrowheads right, they can be very, very effective for hunting. But if you want to watch primitive hunting, I'll tell you a guy to go watch is Ryan Gill. His YouTube is called Hunt Primitive. And he exclusively hunts with primitive gear. So go watch you some of those hunting videos, and you'll see how effective that stuff is. But I'm going to get off here and get dinner. And I thank you guys so much for watching. You can find my artwork at arrowsniperarchery.com.